Oba, Oba, Oba. No, this is not Oba. This is Big Tommy C. And I'm telling you something right now. Welcome to the BTT studios because I am sold on Oba. Man, this dude has got me. And tonight was the night that did it for me. Look, I've been around a long time. I'm old. Gabby's young. The producers are young. I was there for 32 years. I saw guys like King Kong Bundy, who used to do the not three, five count. He did it five count. He was a big, badass dude. And then this other freak of nature I saw was Bam Bam Bigelow. Quick as a cat, flipping all over the place, moves big, boom, boom. I saw Brock Lesnar, a beast, as we all know. But I'd never, ever, ever seen what I saw tonight with Oba, what he did to Otis. And with that, I'm going to bring in my girl, my partner in crime, Gabby. I know you're a big Oba fan. Let me hear your thoughts.
I mean, incredible. They're doing exactly what needs to be like they're hitting on all cylinders when it comes to Oba, which is crazy because they're not doing that in a lot of other ways. But for Oba, it's like we know exactly what we have here. We're going to book him correctly. We're going to have him have the matches that are correct. The way his aura is, the way he speaks, everything about it is absolutely crushing. I enjoyed him against Otis so much. Like, and hats off to Otis as well, because he was really taking those punches, but like the moves of Oba lifting him up like he was nothing and just tossing Otis across the ring, like this is what I want to see if it's going to be an open challenge and you're building a monster like Oba Femi. It's perfection.
You know the best part, the biggest part of this whole thing? How long has this guy been around? In the top
Right.
roster when he came up, he was in NXT. He's been around a month, month and a half, maybe 2 months, maybe three. He's already beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. His
Right.
promo skills are getting better all the time. And you know what? The crowd is into him. They are hooked on Oba. Did you see after the match he won and the whole crowd's doing the Oba? It is just amazing. It's a great idea with this challenge. If they keep going on with things like this guy's going to be over like Rover in September, and you might have to give him the title by SummerSlam and see how he carries it because this company needs somebody young like him to move this company where it needs to go. I'm not saying Roman can't do it. We know Cody can do it, but we need a fresh face, and that's what we need in this company right now, Gabby.
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't in my time of being like a fan of pro wrestling, which isn't that long, it's been hard for me to see somebody be like, oh, he could be the face of the company without being one of these legends. Or, I'd say Cody Rhodes is the face of a company. Roman Reigns is the face of a company. Seth Rollins can be the face of a company. But they're all, these guys that have been around for years, and you look at them as legends already in their own right. And for someone this fresh and this young, for me to be like, oh, he's going to carry this company. He will be the face because he could talk the talk and he can walk the walk. It's pretty incredible. And I'm just so excited by them doing everything right with him because I cannot wait to see when he wins that first title that he wins and that match and that big stage that it'll be on, because I think that it's going to rock the house when it happens. And I'm excited for him.
Yeah, and speaking of Oba, the young guy, but let's go back to the very beginning of the show where we saw Roman, a pissed off Roman. And who
Mhm.
does he run into? Another old timer right there, Seth. And they come face to face. Could this be something in the future that we see these guys going at it? Because he said something like, "You're in my way." And short stuff like that leads to big stuff.
Yeah.
I like that little tease right there. Do you think in the future we could see a
Oh, yeah.
storyline with Seth and Roman?
I think definitely. I mean, I feel like there's always that tease between the two of them. They have so much history together, from the Shield and all the. Even I know about the Shield, and all this crazy, the emotions there. It's the same with like Cody and Punk. All you have to do is plant that little seed to get people excited and think, "What if?" And I'm not one of those people who's like, "Oh, it's a feud and like it's over and I never want to see it again." Because when it's that deep of a feud with that much history, I think you can run it back more than once depending on the variable surrounding. Like I said, I always want to see Becky and Charlotte run it back, even though that feud's been around for a long time. Like there are certain things where you hit on that again and you do it correctly, it can be massive. And I think it's almost a touch of it makes the old school fans feel happy because they were there for the first one or the second one or however it is, and it's now introducing the feud to the newer fans. So I love like those seeds being planted, and hell yeah, if you gave me Seth Roman, I would not be angry about it for sure.
Yeah, but you know who's putting up the roadblock, Gabby?
Yeah,
You
I
know
know.
who's putting it up? Tell me. Who's putting it up? Lay it
Braun.
out. Braun.
Yep.
Braun Breaker.
Dude, he's
Another
nuts,
dude.
man. He's
Another
nuts.
dude we have to watch out for. Young superstar. Great look. Incredible athlete. They got to
Insane.
build on him also. And I like them pounding out Seth every time he sees him.
Yeah.
I love that. Because can Seth come back or what's going to happen? Everybody's against Seth now. You can't trust him anymore. And I think at Backlash this Saturday, I think Braun's going to get a huge pop. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think so. But I don't think it's going to be the end of it. I think that this feud's going to live on a little bit longer. I think this match needs to be on a bigger stage for like what it's capable of between Seth and Braun. So I think there's going to be some kind of run in. I think, you got the Street Profits and Hendry a little bit, they're way more on Seth's side than they are on the Vision, but then you got the Vision with Braun. So I'm guessing it's going to get a little messy on the outskirts. It's not going to be a clean finish. It's not going to be the last of these two that we see. But Braun's insane, man. I was watching him tonight, like
Yeah.
dying laughing too, because when he came out during the Theory like Hendry match, and he's just, I'm like, how much caffeine has that man had tonight? Like, he's just, for how big he is, like the speed at which he does things, and like, he's ripping off this, and he's up on the thing, and he's like all crazed out. He looks like Montez Ford when Montez Ford gets in those like crazy antics and he's shaking like the ring. It's incredible the talent he has, and it's almost like he was bottled up with this injury for so long that he's now exploded. And you could see he can't wait to beat the shit out of Seth, and Seth can't wait to beat the shit out of him. And like, I love matches like that because you could just tell it's going to be very physical, and those are my favorite kinds of matches.
Hey, this could go 3 times. It could go May. It can go
Yeah.
into the Night of Champions in June in Saudi. Even though neither one of them have a title, it
Right.
could be an ancillary match, and then it could lead to SummerSlam
Yeah.
into a street fight or a Hell in a Cell or to end the feud finally for once and for all.
Yeah.
So I think it could be 3. We'll see what happens on Saturday. Quick thing about the Street Profits. They didn't announce a match tonight between them and the Vision, right? For the tag team titles? No.
No, it was Austin and Hendry were having the match, and then obviously everyone else got involved. The Street Profits.
No,
did
I
not
mean,
participate.
they didn't announce that match though for Backlash, the
I
tag
don't.
team titles,
If
right?
they did, I missed it.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I saw a lot of matches that one. That was making me wonder. That would lead to your point. If that match is not happening, there could be a run-in. There
Yeah, I
could
think
be.
there's got to be something going on because it's not gonna. They're not gonna. Neither one of them is gonna. Win clean, and you're not gonna make either one of them look weak at this time. It wouldn't make sense. There's too much going on. So I think someone's got, because everything that's been happening, they've all been getting in each other's shit
Yeah.
at this point and getting involved. And you had that little backstage segment with Seth and the Prophets and Hendry. So someone's going to come out for a save, or it's going to get, they hate the same people. So don't they say like your enemy's enemy is your friend?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of how it is,
Yeah. It's kind of like you and Coach.
I was just going to say that actually.
Excuse me.
But you're my best friend, so it's fine.
Speaking of that, we were waiting for Henry's entrance.
Yeah.
He got it tonight, and we got crickets. Like,
I think it was just the crowd. I blame Nebraska. I don't blame Hendry for that one. I really do. I think, that song and the way he's over when I've even been in the presence of it, it was that crowd lacked on the Hendry love tonight because there's no entrance like it.
if it was in New York or Philly or something like that, I mean,
Hell yeah.
you're in Omaha, Nebraska, so
I can't wait till they go international with it,
Oh yeah,
It's
in
gonna be
the
awesome.
UK. They go
Yeah.
that in the UK, they're gonna go nuts.
Nuts.
So,
Yeah.
I like Hendry. I think he could be a pretty good player here. I like this setting up with him and Logan Paul. It really elevates Hendry up to kind of Paul's level because I think Paul is a bigger superstar than Hendry at this point in time.
Right.
I'm not saying that could be forever because I think Hendry knows how to work a crowd and get him on their side, and Logan could be this badass heel who can just completely sell for him. And that's what Logan Paul's doing, is trying to get him over in a negative way. If you watch what they were going on in the ring tonight, so I like this little matchup. I think the people were more into the song they were into his entrance. You know what I mean?
Listen, they at least they're into the song because it's not going to stop those songs, and they love it, and it's already sticking like the Fire Logan Paul kind of thing. It's pretty funny because people are already singing it like outside of the show, and that's all you need is something catchy, some kind of jingle or whatever. And Logan sells it so good because when he comes out angry like a little bitch, like a little baby bitch, like it's exactly what you would expect from a heel. So because he sells it so well, you're like, yeah, get his ass out of there. Like the little kids were singing it. Like it's funny enough where it's not too corny and where I want to turn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes musical things can hinder on that, or I'm like, okay, it's enough. I haven't hit that point with Joe Hendry ever. So I think he handles well like the balance of both.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then we saw your girl, Sol Ruka, sign her
Oh man.
contract, and this is what I liked. And it was a subtle way of getting Sol over. Was Becky interfering in this whole thing and being so obnoxious,
I know.
and the things that she was saying, I'm the greatest in the world, and you know Soul was going to come back, and that gets Soul over a little more. I think these two can have a tremendous feud storyline moving forward because Soul has got a different look. She's
Yep.
got this hipster beach look, and I really like it. It's something different. She's a tremendous athlete, and we all know how great Becky is. That promo she
Yeah.
did tonight was impeccable. The way she was paying no mind to Saul, and you knew there was going to be a payoff somewhere, somehow, and it did happen. And it makes you say, "Look at Becky, man. She's working on
Yep.
this new talent right here, and she's over. I mean,
Yeah.
people like what she does, and
This
I know you're a big fan of hers too,
Oh
also."
my gosh. Since the minute I saw her, I've been a massive fan of her. But this is exactly what I wanted. This is why I wanted her to be the one to interrupt Becky last week. They kind of switched it up this week and Becky was the one to interrupt her. So whatever, I'll take it any way I can get it because that was exactly what I wanted to see happen. Because I think if we're going to make Soul a big player, she's got to be interrupted by a big time player to make it more serious. And that's exactly what happened. And for Becky, especially, I'm excited to see Becky in the ring with an athlete like Soul because it will show that Becky still got it. Becky can still hang. Yeah, she's been around, and you talk about her as a veteran with a lot of the other veteran women, but Becky Becky can still go big time, and I'm excited to see her with a fresh face like Soul because I think it's going to challenge her as well in the ring and push her to really show her chops and show that she's still here and she's not just Hollywood Becky Lynch doing movies and walk around doing these things. And Soul is so over as a babyface. It's going to be a great dynamic between the two, and it's going to get Soul even more heavily over because Becky's getting the booze, and it's just I absolutely love it. Like you said, there's nobody on the roster that looks like Soul, acts like Soul. Even in Soul's little promo when she was like, "If you interrupt me again, I'm not just going to kick your ass. I'm going to steal your soul." Like it's all good things. I'm excited for her. I think she's going to be main eventing WrestleMania one day. And I've said it already. I said it when she premiered. I think I would love to see her take the title for Becky. I think that would be awesome. Give it to a fresh face, someone that you're building on, and show that she's going to be a star because you've been booking Oba correctly. Now book a female like Soul correctly, and let's see what we can do with it. It's exciting.
Yeah, and then speaking of the females, we have a new leader of the Judgment Day. Looks like Liv Morgan's kind of like the leader, and we could, me and Coach called this like a couple of years ago that eventually she was going to lead the Judgment Day, and to what she wants and when she wants it and how she wants it, and you could see that happening now. You saw the backstage pre-tape with her and Roxanne and Raquel and Dom and all that, and then just confronting Roxanne. But my question to you
Yeah,
is who's working who here? Because I think Roxanne is there, and there's going to be a big swerve happening, and it's going to blindside the
yeah,
whole Judgment Day. What do
yeah.
you think?
I think you got to let this simmer until the right moment because do not blow this because I will be so upset because they're already teasing it too much, in my opinion. I think they're already giving away too much. And I think it's got to be at the right time and the right moment for the payoff. I think it's got to be a turn for Roxanne to get that shot at the title. I need this to play out till SummerSlam. I would love to see Liv Roxanne. at SummerSlam. I think that's the match to make it. I think the emotion's there. I think if you build it correctly, it's going to be an awesome match. Both women are so incredible in the ring anyway. But I think once the turn happens, you play around with it a little bit, like you said, have Liv and Dom against her and Finn. Now she's taking Finn's side or whatever. And then you make this even expand even more because I think Roxanne and Raquel are becoming close because Liv was gone for so long. So they hate each other. I think you plant the seed about is Raquel having second thoughts about following Liv or will she follow Roxanne? There's so much that can be done within the Judgment Day because of, and by the way, the Judgment Day is like become the faction that nobody saw coming in the sense of like they're still kicking and they've built so many good feuds and so many good characters out of the Judgment Day that you really can't hate them for what they've done from where they began to where they are now. The things that have come out of the Judgment Day is pretty impressive in the sense of these big matches, these big moments, these big characters. So I think you wait for it at SummerSlam and then you plant the seed about Raquel not knowing which girl to go with because she's so close with both. And then you can even make that its own new storyline heading forward. But please be the right moment because I don't want to blow this one because I think this has the heels of being Rhea Liv Part 2 with Roxanne and Liv. I think that's how good of a feud it can become.
Yeah, and the other thing is, look, I mean, they made JD a star. I mean, they,
100%.
you know what I mean? His
Yep.
match with Finn, it was incredible. It wasn't a bad match
Yep.
at all. And boy, I got to tell you, Finn is going to be a big time baby face. I think Roxanne's going to be a big time baby face, and maybe they're like you said, you put them together, you can get some steam going with them too, because I think fans will really come up to Roxanne, and I love the way she's doing it. And you're right, they're overdoing it a little bit. When you saw the apprehension of her when she was looking up and she threw the hammer to her, and then she ran around, and then she just hit Finn with it. It just
Yeah.
didn't. It felt a little funny to me. And in the beginning of this whole thing, I always you were just talking about. I always thought Raquel was the one that was going to turn on Liv. I don't know
Yeah.
if the writers have switched that to
I think so.
Roxanne. I think you're right on that.
I think they switched it. I think it was very heavily gonna be like, oh, Raquel's gonna swerve, and then I think things changed. I think Liv's injury changed a lot of things because there was so much time that we then got Raquel and Roxanne together, and then they're like, oh wait, maybe we can make this work a different way. So I think because even when the injury happened for Liv, and Roxanne came in, remember Liv was like, I don't trust new people. Like it took her a minute to even really believe in it. And I think it's almost like Liv knows it's going to happen. Like, I think there will be shock, but I think Liv will almost be like, I knew this bitch was going to turn on me because Finn brought her in. Like, I think she almost kind of knows a little. I think when Raquel does the turn later on after, I think that's going to be the most shocking for her because they were sisters first. And that's when it's going to be Raquel's time to shine. We got a little glimpse of it, but I'm almost happier they're going with Roxanne because it's the more obvious choice now, and then have a very conflicted Raquel after that. And what's she going to do?
You're absolutely right. And there's nobody running the Judgment Day better than Liv because nobody could be a better heel right now as a woman than Liv. She's so condescending. The way she looks at and she patted her on the head and did this. I love all that stuff. And that
Yeah.
just elevates her and the Judgment Day up a little more. And we called this a couple years ago. She was going to be a leader. She's the
Mhm.
leader now. And then we'll see where to go. And Dirty Dom is just Dirty Dom. He doesn't even have to say anything. I can
I
just
know.
look at him and say, "This guy,
Is an
he's
ass.
got it. He's
Yeah.
an asshole." Blah blah blah. But he has got it. It is just incredible watching him with Liv. They play that storyline. They play that storyline out, man. I got to tell you, man. I thought it would have been ended by now, but I love it. I think it still can keep going. It's got a lot of momentum to it still, and who knows? And like you said, the writers can go any way they want with this.
Yeah.
And that's the best part of it.
Yeah, because that's why I don't want them to tease too much because I want to be surprised by what happens because there's only so many moments where they're like, "Oh, they got me." Like I want it to be a gotcha moment. I don't want to be like, "Oh, I knew it was coming," because you keep bringing it up every single 5 seconds, Keep it kind of subtle so that I get punched in the face when it happens. And like the Raquel thing, I hope they're putting that on ice so that when the moment happens, you're not expecting it because you're paying so much attention to Roxanne and you didn't even know that Raquel was the one in the back the whole time making the plans. Like that would be kind of interesting.
Yep. You know what's got me interesting was watching the package on EO
Oh
and
man,
Asuka. Now let's just set that up for a minute. It was lit right. It was perfect, and I love the subtitles. I think
me
the
too.
subtitles are money in this whole thing, and you don't realize that you feel passion from one person to another, but you felt it kind of like if you're reading the subtitles and watching the superstars themselves. I think this match could really, really steal the show at Backlash
100%.
because they are both tremendous workers. EO is over with the American crowd big time. Asuka, I mean, is there a better heel right? One of the better heels right now, or what?
No,
Did you
it's
like? Did you like the way they did that?
that was one of my favorite things of the entire night. I will say, I thought that the WWE played that 100% correctly. That's something where you're like, that needs to be shot the way it was shot and behind the scenes and behind a camera as opposed to live in front of the crowd, because it would not have hit the same. I think seeing the subtitles, I think having them in their comfort zone, going back and forth between their language and then English, because it hits harder for the two of them. If they shot that whole thing in English, it's not natural in the sense of like how they speak with each other, behind the scenes and outside of things. Like, this is how they would actually talk to each other. That's the emotion they have. That's the history they have between each other. It's believable. It's real. You were my mentor and you're not the same person. And she said, yeah, and guess what? You're not the girl that I taught either. You're not the same either. You're disrespectful and all these kinds of things. It's a clear good guy versus bad guy. It's evil versus good, black versus white. That's why it's such a beautiful thing. It's going to steal the entire show. I think it's one of those matches. I know why people wanted it at WrestleMania, because they know it's going to be such a good match. These two women have such chemistry together. And I loved that so much. That was probably my favorite thing of the whole night. And even with with her spin, what the acid, right? Is that what it's called? Acid? Her,
What?
when she hit her, when she
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking
spit
about.
spit in
Yeah.
her face. Like, it's like she was made her get closer because she was going to say something and then hit her with it. And I was just like, that's perfection, because that's Asuka. She's like, you really are someone I used to love and I don't anymore. And like, both of them, there's no love lost. And that's going to be a brutal match. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited for that match.
Yep. So before we get into, if you have anything else, throw it out to me. But before we get into the final, the contract signing of Roman and Fatu, I want to talk about the New Day and the
Oh,
recently that they got cut because and I'll go then. You give me your thoughts.
yeah.
Uh, I was there 32 years. I was on the road 6 years, and nobody cares about that anyway. But I got to be really good friends with Kofi and Creed and Big E, and you couldn't meet nicer guys than Kofi, Creed, and Big E, and the talent that these guys had. When I found out that they decided to leave the company because, again, people that are running the company don't know the wrestling business, folks.
Right.
Like Ari Emanuel can give two shits what Kofi went through to get where he was, where I saw at WrestleMania 35 him become the champ, and you saw true emotion with his family, with Big E, with Woods, and everybody else. That was real, folks. That wasn't fake. That wasn't fake one iota. And you couldn't find two or guys to represent the company or three guys, but Biggie's still with the company with these two of Woods and Kofi. Two of the nicest guys, two great workers, and by the way, pretty friggin' talented. It's your fault that you couldn't find nothing with him. But when you get guys like Ari Emanuel, never grew up in the business, Mark Shapiro, Moneybags, and fat Nick Khan, who doesn't know anything about the business at all. If that was somebody else in there that are loyalty to the business, I'm not going to mention anybody's names, loyal, and I'm laying this on Triple H. You mean to tell me you couldn't stick your neck out for these guys? And I know business is business. They haven't done a lot in a couple of years. But do you know what kind of money they rolled in for that company with Bootios
Yep.
and everything they did for kids who looked up to them? It's just incredible how a new company takes over. They forget the dedication and the loyalty going 7 days a week when they used to do house shows and then pay per views and then Raw and SmackDown. And nobody worked harder than Kofi and Woodsy. It's just incredible how you want to restructure their contract right now that they signed a year ago because they're making too much money, really? When Ari Emanuel made $64 million as a pay, Mark Shapiro, $47 million, Nick Khan, $24 million. That's just his pay, his salary. We're not talking bonuses. We're not talking stock. And you take it out on these guys who are a talent, who are dedicated to the product. It's just a stab in the back. It is just unbelievable that the things that are happening. This is not my company anymore. It was my company years ago when the chairman was there and you worked your ass off and you got rewarded for what you did. And there's a big word out there that these guys don't know about. It's called friggin' loyalty. And that is just gone, Gabby. It's a travesty. I wish Kofi the best. Good guy, Woodsy. Two great guys you wouldn't want to meet anywhere else. The floor
Yeah.
is yours.
Listen, I think it's a sad day, not only for the tag division, just WWE in general. Like, everybody knows the New Day. They were that heart and soul of the tag division for a while when I was even becoming a new fan in it. Like, everybody knew who they were. And I tell this story about Kofi because I met the other I met Austin like through Zoom once when we had him on the show, whatever. But I met Kofi one time when I was in studio working at my old job, and I was sitting there, and it was way before the interview had to happen, and I was sitting in like the my office with some other people. We were just talking, and he walked in, and everybody was like, "Oh, Kofi, nice to see you." Before he even started talking to who was interviewing him, he walked over to every single person in the room that was sitting there and shook their hand. He shook my hand. He said, "Hi, I'm so and so. So nice to meet you. What's your name?" To every single person. Some of the guys that weren't even working on our show, like they were just there in the office, like working on their own shows at their desk. He walked up to every single person and shook every single person's hand before he even started talking about himself or the interview that he was there for. And that always stuck out to me because I was like, that's a person who's like a real human being, like a very good person. That's nothing that's going to be written about him, about how, that he's nice or whatever. That's just his genuine character. And from what I've heard from other people, that's who he is, and that's who they all are, to that sense of that that's their character, that they will shake the hands of the janitor the same way that they would of whoever, just because they're walking into a room. And I always remember that about him. What a kind human being. And it really was a sad day. I saw that, and that was like the same feels I got about, when R-Truth got released. It was like, holy shit, that's somebody that's so beloved within a company. How does this happen? And then you learn, oh, they weren't released. They were just not given, their worth. They walked away because they knew their worth, which in and of itself, like even the messages they wrote for their goodbyes, like what a lesson to be learned, where it's like you take yourself out of a situation if you're not being treated what your worth is. And we've all been, let go, released. Obviously, you talk about this all the time, Tommy. And you sometimes feel as if someone doesn't see your worth or you're settling for it. And good for them to be like, I know what the fuck I deserve, and this is not it, and I'm out. Because they're not done. And I think the impact that they've made in what they've, and like I said, they're not done and over. I think we're going to see them wrestle again. Where? I'm not sure, but I would be devastated if this is the end of the New Day, and it's not. But what an impact they've made, and what a shame on that company for allowing it to happen. What a sad day, and what it really changed the weather for me when it comes to the WWE as a fan. That I'm like, oh, it's not the same. And I haven't even been a fan that long, and I'm like, oh, it's a different time now. Like what the tag teams, even you take a look at it, you take a step back, and you're like, that heel turn could have been so good that they had. That I was looking. Remember when it happened? And we were like, "This is incredible. We're so into this."
Yes.
Every card they were dealt, they made something with it. Everything that they were handed, they made something with it. And for you to think that they're not worthy to keep around or to pay is just terrible. And I look at things very differently now through a different kind of lens when I watch it. And it's sad to say that, but I wish them all the best. And it's just, I don't think it's the end of hearing about
No way.
which is
When the
awesome.
company makes $1.5 billion, that's making money. And you mean to tell me you can't keep loyal guys who are
Yeah.
on the road and did everything 24/7 for you just for loyalty alone? It's your fault you couldn't come up with something creative because whatever you gave them, they could handle it 10 times over and better than half the roster that they have right now.
And you can't tell me that doesn't affect the morality of the locker room either.
Oh
Those are
yeah.
two guys that their absence is going to be felt.
Yep.
And I think it shows. I think it's going to show a lot on these. How much longer can these other superstars keep saying, like, oh my God, another legend like to be missed without it like taking some kind of toll on you. You know what I mean? Or showing at some point. It's gonna be hard to show up to work and pretend like everything's great,
Yep.
you know, when all your friends and all these people that have, you know, been your rocks behind the stage or mentors or whatever it is are just getting tossed as if they don't, unless they're like they're nothing. It's insane. They're getting tossed away like used tissues. It's absurd to me.
Yep. And TK, if you're listening, man, you got to jump on these guys after their no compete is done, man, because they will do wonders in AEW. They'll have to change their name, even if they went with Kofi and Woods or whatever they came up. You know who they are. You know where they came from, and you know they can work, and you know they can cut a promo, and you know they could be a character. Man, I can see them against the Young Bucks just like that.
Dude, I that is the match to be made at AEW. Like that would already sell. Like you hear the pop of the New Day at AEW, that's going to be one of those. That's a CM Punk moment showing up at AEW. You know what I'm saying? That's an Edge moment showing up at AEW. That's a when Paige showed up at AEW. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those moments where it's like, holy shit, how did we let this guy? How did we let these guys go and show up in this company? They better jump on top of that because they're the only company, obviously, I think right now that can give them what money wise, what you know they deserve. Unfortunately, I would love to see them in TNA, but I don't think TNA can. You know,
Well, what if they TNN brought in one shot against the Hardy Boys? Everybody
dude,
would love to see that,
fucking incredible,
right? I just threw
incredible.
that up. There you go. Right?
And like I don't know, I see them and I think I don't think it's just money for them. In a
No.
perfect world, you know what I'm saying? Like these are guys that have such a passion and a love for pro wrestling. It's clear. And I don't think it would be like, oh, the biggest payday, that's where we're going. We don't give a shit about the stories. Like, no, I think they care about the stories. I think they care about making the fans happy because look at what they've done. They've dedicated their whole career to these big moments of doing it, you know? So, like, I would love to see that. I think if that happened, it would be fucking incredible. You got Slammiversary coming up, TNA. You got, you know, Bound for all these big moments. Like, listen, the Hardys are the Hardys. And I witness them at TNA all the time. I don't see reactions like what the Hardys get. The Hardys and the New Day, somewhere that's not WWE, could you? Insane. Would be
Hey,
insane.
I was ringside for those ladder matches, Gabby, back in the 90s. I was ringside for that to see the incredible talent between Edge, Christians, the Hardy
Oh,
Boys, and Bubba Ray and the
the
other guy there,
Dudleys.
Dudley's.
Devon, yeah.
Incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Incredible workers in the ring. Always over, big time. Always been crowd favorites. They, there you go. There's your match right then
Yep.
and there. One other quick thing is, they let my buddy go, and I actually brought him into the company, and he put something on LinkedIn. His name is Gavin O'Shea,
Mm.
great friend of mine. I hired him. He worked in my department. We were hand in hand. We did a lot of things on the road together, and he thought he was uh, on the call about his review, and it was a FaceTime, and they zipped him. They zipped him out, dude. They dissolved his position. 25 years dedicated, just like me, 32 years dedicated,
Doesn't matter
and
anymore.
he's gone. He's gone. Like he was devastated. He couldn't believe
Oh,
it. I just talked to him the other day, and I'm not going to get into what we talked
right.
about, but I said, dude, I am here for you big time. But
Yeah.
just stuff like that keeps going on at this company. All the old school guys are going out, dude. There's a list of them.
Do you
Dan Pucciarelli, another one who did the Undertaker documentary, was another guy. He's out. It's just amazing how all these old school guys get out, and then they bring in the ESPN guys.
Do you
So
think, Tommy, that Vince watches? And if he does, do you think he's angry watching some of his people go? Or do you think he's kind of disconnected from it in the sense? Like he doesn't.
Well, I wish I knew I can answer that because I
Yeah,
think I know Vince very well because I
yeah,
worked really close to him. I'm not bragging about that.
no,
Every time Vince did something, I was pretty much with him.
yeah,
When he was commentating, I was his stage manager, and I know how Vince wanted things. And he's a guy that he's hard to figure out sometimes. But here's the part of Vince that nobody really knows about. He was loyal. He's loyal. He was loyal to all his
mm,
guys. When Vince Senior sold the company to Vince Jr., all those guys that were loyal to Vince Sr., guys like Pat Patterson, and the list goes, Freddie Blasio, he kept them all on
yeah,
as producers.
makes
When
sense.
Vince Jr., Chief J. Strongbow, he kept them. Blackjack Lanza, I know all those guys.
Yeah,
Vince kept them on. George the Animal Steel, all because of loyalty, and that's what he is. I think he's very upset about the way the product is being portrayed right now.
listen,
Absolutely.
you talk about loyalty, and what was that little quip from Graves on commentary today? Loyalty. What was the exact quote? I'm trying to pull it up.
Yeah, I forget you. You wrote it in our text. I can't.
It said no. Double D wrote it out.
Oh,
I'm gonna look for it. I have it on my phone.
yeah.
But
Look for it.
everybody was talking about it, and everyone had kind of tagged it because they thought it was a direct hit. He said, "Loyalty doesn't pay the bills."
Ain't that the truth? Oh,
I mean,
God.
it doesn't unless you're in the wrong place. But
Oh, we have a super sticker.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's about you, by the way.
Oh, wait. Well,
I'll say it to you because it's about you shining,
okay. Go
Tommy.
ahead.
He said, "Keep sharing your experiences. They're so valuable. We like getting to know you and learning from you. Your experience is now TKO's lost loyalty number one from
Well,
Walrags."
I really appreciate that, and that's what you get from not only me but the whole BTT brand and studios with myself, and of course run by the coach, and of course Vince Russo. We were all in the company. Gabby, who worked for Sirius XM for years doing the Busted Open show.
Yeah.
That's what you get. People that have been in the business. All these other guys that do podcasts are looking in the mirror, they're looking out the window, and they're guessing what's going on. We were there for it. I really appreciate that. Thank you, and that means a lot coming from one of our fans. So one other thing, and then we'll get to the main event. What could Cena's be his big history making promo be, Gabby?
No, I think it's going to be about that WWE club thing because he's really like the guy behind it.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to lie. I know this sounds bad. I could really don't care. I just,
I think it's a big bait and switch, what they call in the old days in the
yeah.
business, where
Oh,
he's
okay.
saying, "Oh, I'm coming back, man.
Yeah.
I'm wrestling again." That's what makes you think, and that's what makes people go, "I'm gonna get this on ESPN," because you know this will not be in the first hour, which is free on ESPN too.
I'm just like, I almost feel bad for Cena in the sense of like, Cena's like just doing because they told him like, oh, we want you here, and he's like, okay, and he's like living his life. He had his retirement. He doesn't have to get in the ring. It's probably fun for him to show up and host WrestleMania and do these things. But to a certain degree, as somebody, you're just like, I thought you were retired. Like you had this whole send off, you made it this whole emotional thing, but now you're just going to show up at every event and be happy and have this smile on your face and do these kinds of things. It's almost like it's like satirical to a degree where I'm kind of like, I want you to like be on ice for a little bit. I'm seeing almost too
Yeah,
much of you now,
you're
you
right.
know?
Ever since he's retired, we've sold him more than ever.
Like I remember his music used to hit and like the pop was massive because you didn't know Cena was showing up. Like I miss those moments happening, like same with The Rock. It's like when their music hits and they come out, it should be an explosion. And when you get too used to it, yeah, you're excited, but it's not the same level as it was last time. And it's like he's retired. Let the man be retired. It's oversaturation already.
I'm sure TKO is a big part of this, saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
we
I
need you
agree.
for this. The numbers don't look good with ESPN. We don't know what we're getting. Even though we're airing the first hour, we're not going to put you on the first hour. That would be ridiculous. Why would you
Yeah,
do that?" But
right.
it sounds like a bait and switch. It sounds like, what could John Cena be saying? Is he going to come back wrestling part time? Is he the new president that sees over Adam Pierce and Nick Aldis? Is he Triple H's right hand guy? I mean, that's the stuff that you think about. But you're right. It's about Club WWE.
Yeah.
End of story. And we'll confirm that on Monday, and we're all going to be right because we usually are right. So,
Listen, I hope it's something that shocks me. I would love to chew my words and be wrong, but I'm never wrong.
yep.
It's hard for me to be wrong, Tommy.
So we had the main event here, Roman and Fatu. Let me hear your thoughts, and I'll give you mine.
I mean, what is it? 3 weeks in a row, we've had them as the main event on the mic doing things. I thought this was way better than last week. I thought the digs were good. I thought the promos were good. I liked the physicality and Roman kind of getting his lick back on him. I didn't hate it. I thought it was decent for the buildup and the fact that this is the going to be the main event at Backlash, so you have to treat it as such. Do I think Fatu's going to win? No. Do I want this to be the end of the feud? Not really. I think it's deep, and I think it's a family feud. No pun intended, Steve Harvey. Um, but I kind of was just like, okay, we knew this is kind of how it was going to go. We needed Roman to come out looking strong after, he got the attack on him last week. And I think they did that. And I think they made it another layer deeper and kind of more personal with the family aspect and the way, like the shots they were taking back at each other.
I'm going to give you two aspects of my thoughts.
Okay.
The past 3 weeks, they have made Roman very vulnerable with that claw or whatever he puts in there. And it makes you think that if he gets him in that, could Fatu get the 1, 2, 3?
Right.
It could happen. Here's my thought process on it, and I've been reading this, and I watched Coachman Bro and all this other stuff. His contract is not done yet, and he's not happy. Is there a smidgen of hope, maybe not hope of that, maybe Fatu wins the title and Roman leaves for a while because he's not happy with his business aspect or his contract negotiations? That's the other way to look at this because they're making Roman look very, very vulnerable for the last 3 weeks on that hole and everything else. And I know you got to get Jacob over somehow, some way, because Roman Reigns is the man. We all know that. In my true world, in the wrestling aspect of it, I think this is a one and done match. Fatu gets his match. Roman moves on to whoever it could be. Maybe it's Seth next. But it makes me think of the business aspect of his contract negotiations. He's already been taken off all the June Raw dates.
Yeah, but do you
And
think that
there's
maybe they did that on purpose to make you think that?
I don't know. And here's the other thing. As you know, they have the June pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia so far, Night of Champions. If he's not on that card and he's a champ, then you know something's wrong.
My thing is this. I don't mind it being Jacob who takes the title from Roman if it makes sense. This is too soon, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree.
I don't think he's there yet. I
Nope.
think it's almost, and like I know this sounds crazy because you're not supposed to look in the past. If Roman loses on Saturday or at Backlash, like it's kind of takes away from the beauty of what happened at WrestleMania between Punk and Roman because I'm still kind of running off the high of that and how great that was. That if you're just like, oh yeah, and by the way, we're taking that title right back to because if Roman's not happy, then why wasn't Punk, who's over and a face of the company everybody loves, then continue on with the title and build up these guys? Like, why would it be Jacob this soon when I couldn't even tell you him being champion, like who I would want him to see him face at SummerSlam. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, I just think it's too soon. I
I
don't,
agree.
I don't think Jacob can't be the guy. I just don't think he could be the guy right now.
I totally agree with you with that. But you know, I hope I'm wrong on the contract. I don't want to see Roman go anyway because I was one of the guys that want him to have the title to elevate that title to the way it was a couple of years ago. So we'll see what
Also,
happens. Go ahead.
2 weeks in a row, no Usos backing up their fucking cousin
Right.
in the ring. Where are they? They could be backstage for a segment when they're talking about stuff like, oh, Jacob Fatu's crazy, Us, like be careful, but they're not going to back you up in the ring. What are we doing? Like,
Can you see them turn and go to Jacob?
yes. And then if that happens, it's more believable to me.
Yep.
If he gets the Usos behind him, it's that will be the start of Jacob being the next one. For
Yep.
them to get behind him and turn on him again and do this, then I'm like, okay, Jacob's going to be this major player because his own family believes in him and now they're 100% behind him. That will help it for sure. I could see that happening. I wouldn't even hate it if that happened because then Roman's alone vulnerable again. And, you know, he doesn't have the backbone of his family. And they're supporting Jacob Fatu, and they think Jacob Fatu can be that guy. Now I believe that Jacob Fatu can be that guy.
Yep. Well, it's all going down at Backlash. It's this Saturday. We'll all be
Yep.
watching, and we'll report back on it. One quick thing for you, Gabby. Were you surprised to see Gunther show up on SmackDown?
I was. I was a little shocked by it because I thought it was a little bit random, but we'll see where that goes. Gunther's kind of just shocking me all the time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He attacked Seth, and we didn't really understand why. Now he's attacking Cody. Now he's doing these things. I feel like Gunther's kind of just the silent assassin, but like I like that. If he played off of that, I would like him even more. If he was just like, you never know who I'm going to attack because I'm better than everybody and fuck all of you. And he just attacked whoever he wanted, whenever he wanted, and had these matches. Because every match he has is going to be good. He's incredible. I want to see him in the ring with all these guys. So like, there's not a steer right now lane for him. And I kind of like that you don't know where you're going to see him and he's reckless because he should be.
Yeah. So he's not on the SmackDown brand, right? He's still a Raw guy.
I think he's on Raw. Who the hell knows where these people are? They all go wherever they want, anytime they want.
All right, give us some last words, Gabby, and I'll end the show.
I do think I think Backlash will actually be a solid show. I think, you know, storylines headed in, they make sense. I think there's emotion behind a lot. Io and Asuka, obviously. And I think Roman and Fatu is going to be a very solid, really good match. I'm looking forward to it. I think they've been doing a good job kind of steering of it since WrestleMania. But Backlash is not one of those things where it's SummerSlam and I'm putting pressure on it, right? I just want these to continue the storylines. I love how they're building up this new talent. Oba, Soul, JC on SmackDown. I think they're doing a great job. They just had her beat Charlotte on SmackDown. Fucking incredible. That's how they're doing it correctly. And that's where they're hitting on all cylinders. So I feel like there's hope so far.
I agree with you. I'm really interested in seeing Seth and Braun and how that ends.
Yeah.
How they're going to end that match right there. And I took an interest to the EO match, the EO match. I really am. I think they could really tear the house down. They're going to want to really put on a show there, and I think they will. So, and it's interesting to see Roman and Jacob. We'll see what happens there moving forward. So, I think it turned out to be a pretty solid show. We'll see you guys. This is Tommy C and Gabby from BTT Studios. And of course, tomorrow, the 2 count with Coach and JD from New York. I wonder what he's thinking about everything. Tune into them tomorrow morning at 11:30. This is Big Tommy C for my girl Gabby from the BTT Studios saying, see ya.